All right, happy Monday to everybody. I apologize for not being there today, but here's a quick little video just introducing today. Make sure you have assignment number 14 out on your desk and make sure that you've submitted it. You can always go back and rewatch this video. It will be on Canvas for you under assignment number 15. So if you need to check your answers a little bit closer, you may do so. Make sure you've submitted assignment 14 to Canvas. We're going to go over that in just a moment. I'm going to ask you guys to submit your iExcel from last week before you forget, because we have our new skills. So that's these skills down here. And you guys are going to have pretty much a work day today practicing multiplying and dividing. So before we go over Friday's assignment, Friday's assignment, remember, this is the screen that I want you guys to submit to me. It's going to be a whole lot easier to submit while you still have all four of your skills. So make sure right now, go ahead and submit. Or make sure you submit before you leave class today, even if you're not done with all of them. Remember, you can go back and refinish them, but this is perfect because then I can see your score. I want to see your name. Don't crop your picture. But once again, like even though that person isn't quite at an 80, they would get 3 out of the 4 points for that skill. So make sure you submit what you have done so you can get points. All right, so on Thursday, Friday, we talked about dividing, and if you recall, it is the same thing as multiplying. So it says, why is Dracula a great artist? And it says he can draw blood is the answer to the riddle. But as we go through this, you need to make sure you're showing your work. So remember, step 1, we have to change them to improper, so that's why you see here. And then remember division. The only difference is we have to do keep, change, flip. So we keep the first fraction the same, change to multiplication, and flip the second fraction. Then you're going to follow your multiplication rules and try to simplify if we can. So in this case, we divided by 5, got us to 2, divided 15 by 5, got to 3, and then we multiplied across. So on something like number 3, pretty quick and easy because you just put 9 over 1, and then we didn't have any kind of mixed number, so all you had to do is have to flip the 1/3, and the 1/3 becomes 3 over 1, and you're just multiplying across. So certain ones obviously are more challenging than others. So as we quickly look through, once again, I'm not going to go through all of these. I'm going to just quickly look and see if there's any in particular that look to be challenging, but in particular, number 8, for example, those are a little bit bigger numbers. And so you had 18 plus 2 is 20 divided by 10 over 9. Then you do your keep, change, flip. And once again, as long as you're simplifying, 10 goes into 20, nice and neat, 2 times. And 10 divided by 10 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then you just get to multiply across. And so if you didn't simplify, it makes it a whole lot harder. Once again, if you want to look closer at this, please just watch the video, and you can pause it on your iPad. For the back, we are doing long division with decimals. So when you do your assignment today, make sure that if they are in decimal form, you're going to do this long division. And so remember, we cannot have a decimal divisor. So we need to move this decimal point over 2, and then make sure we put this X up here. And now I'm doing 41 divided by 5, which is 8. That gives us 40. We get a remainder of 1. Bring down the 3. 13 divided by 5 is 2. You get 10. And then subtract, you get 3 and bring down. And you can see 35 divided by 7 is 7. Some of you messed up on this one. This one's a little bit harder. You need to know your multiplication facts for 25. You just do the work out to the side if you're not sure. So just do your 25 times 2 if you needed to, and then times 3 and times 4. But you really should know your 25s because of quarters. But once again, we move the decimal point over 1. We've got to move this decimal point over 1. And in this case, you had to add 2 extra donuts on this question. So you should have had, now you also need to remember that the signs were different. So the answer is negative, but negative 23 and 28 hundredths on that one. As we look at number 3, remember all fractions mean division. So signs are different to start with, so we know our answer is going to be negative. We need to move the decimal point over 1. We do move this one over 1. And once again, 4 divided by 3 is 1. Subtract, you get 1. Bring down the 7. 17 divided by 3 is 5. You get 15. Subtract, you get 2. Bring down the 4. And you 24 divided by 3, which is 8. You get your remainder of nothing. We did number 4 together in class. And so therefore, I'm not going to spend time going over it, but as you go through it. Remember, you got to keep going until it either ends or repeats. In this case, it repeats, but it doesn't repeat until after you drop that second zero. It has to be a repeating decimal. And once again, the signs were different. So that was our long division. Now, I'm going to have this screen up. Well, this is on my, this is straight from your notes. So my reminder to you is if you get confused on your assignment, go back and look at your notes. You can also go to the video because I have an example. Here's an example of multiplying with decimal numbers. That's what we did on Tuesday and Wednesday last week. This is multiplying with mixed numbers. And so once again, we need to change to improper. We've got all of our steps, okay? And those steps are on, I believe, page 6 in your notes packet. This was what we did on Thursday and Friday. And so here's your dividing with decimals. That was the first thing we did. And then we did dividing with mixed numbers. And so we changed to improper. Then we do our keep, change, flip, and then we multiply. And so once again, these are in your notes packets. So go ahead and number one, look in your notes packet. Number two, you can talk to those around you, as long as our substitute is okay with that. Kind of help each other as you're going through, but you can also go back and watch this video. So here is your assignment. I'm going to ask that the substitute pass this out, but I'm going to draw your attention to a few things. She may pause it at this point. She or he may pause it at this point and then restart it real quick. But the main idea I want you to see is the front is multiplying. So once again, don't get hung up on one question. If you get stumped on a question, come back to it. You may want to try to do maybe all the odds first. So that way you're practicing some multiplying and dividing. You're going to try to get through as many as you can. Some of them are pretty quick and easy, but your steps just from your notes are right here. This one is a decimal. So once again, now I want to remind you that, if I did 2 times 3, it is the same as 3 times 2. So in this case, the order doesn't matter. And so if I'm you, I personally would set this up this way, so that way you have the 2 digits on the bottom, you have the 3 digits up on top. And so remember, order doesn't matter when you multiply, so you can change the order so that way you have fewer digits on the bottom, so you'd only have to have 2 rows of addition when you're getting to this section right here. And then remember, your decimal points, you're going to want to count. So over 2, over 1, so in your answer you have to move it over 3. Now this one, I purposely threw in here to kind of, not to scare you, but make you think a little bit. So this is an exponent. And what that means is if I gave you something like this, 3 to the second power, you would know that that's 3 times 3. The only difference is now you have a fraction inside. And so it's that fraction times itself. So rewrite it down here and do the work is what my point is on that. So once again, you have another little challenge on number 12. You got 3 fractions, so it's the same thing. Remember, you can simplify all the way across. Some of these are going to be super fast. Some of them are a little bit harder. So as you flip over real quick to the back, this is your dividing side. And so if you notice up at the top, once again, it reminds you, change all mixed numbers to improper. Then you got to do your keep, change, flip. And so as you're looking at these, once again, this is division. So this one has decimals. You should be doing your long division. This one has decimals. You should be doing long division. These are our keep, change, flip questions, okay, when you have fractions. Now, number 3 is something that iLearn's going to like to ask you. What you guys need to know is all fractions mean division. So this is just a division. So you now can rewrite this as 1/4 divided by -3/8. And so when you see a fraction over a fraction, that's what it means. And so you have the class to work. I didn't want to take a lot of time. I want you to work diligently. This is due the next time I see you in class. So some of them, as I said, are longer than others, but start hammering it out and have a wonderful day. Don't forget to submit this to iExcel or to Canvas when you're done.